Welcome to the show. My name is Charlton with Big C. This is Charlton and Big C Sports coming to you worldwide on the Big C Sports Network, the number one network in the United States of America. And Big C Sports has been voted the number one sports show in the universe, according to Big C and them good old boys down south. I want to say bienvenidos to all of our listeners and Latin America, also across the pond in London, England, as well as Paris, France. And of course, you good old boys up in Canada. We love you, Canada, but your dome is now number 2. And Big C, there's no one we love more than you good old boys down south in the land of the free and the home of the brave. Big C, how's it going on this beautiful September 18th, 2017, Big C?
Charlton, I'm trying to wake up from this sports buffet over the weekend. You're talking about overkill.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a little taste of everything. You know, my gut is still hanging out from all the sports I consume.
Yeah, you know what's funny though? I keep saying on this beautiful land of the free and the home of the brave that we live in, when I'm driving around Northern California, I keep looking for these Animal Crossing signs. I don't see many good old boys, but guess what I've been noticing? I've been noticing dirty pickup trucks within about a half a yard of those Animal Crossing signs. I think they're catching on to you good old boys down south, Big C. That's so funny.
Charlton, you know, free meals are hard to come by nowadays. You know, there's somebody just gonna walk in.
Yeah.
When you're sitting there and you're out at night with your lights off, you know, you can't walk away from that free opportunity.
Yeah, I think Governor Brown's a great man here in Northern California. I think he's going to have to figure out a way to make those signs neon so the animals can actually see them at nighttime, Big C. I do want to say today's segment sponsored by your Northern California Cadillac dealers, home of the all-new Cadillac Escalade, the standard of the world. And when you go by and test drive yours, tell them Charlton and Big C sent you. Big C, I know you love Las Vegas. In fact, I know you love it so much, when I go down there and I forget my wallet, I'm trying to pay for a room, I can't find my wallet, I say, Big C sent me. And you know they let me in for free, Big C. Okay. But I got to ask you, that was one of the best fights that I've seen in my life, Canelo and Triple G. But I think Triple G won. He might be Triple 4 when they get the rematch, Big C. Your thoughts?
You know, boxing needed this after the Mayweather
McGregor thing?
fiasco that
Yeah.
went on a couple of weeks ago in Vegas. We saw a true boxing contest. You know, Canelo and Triple G just went berserk on each other. Although the ending wasn't what everybody expected to be,
Yeah.
Charlton,
Yeah.
there's always some questionability in judging.
You think?
When it comes down to the human factor. And,
Yeah.
You know, we had this female judge that,
Yeah.
I got to call her out on that, Charlton.
Yeah.
Fight that shouldn't have ended in a draw. You know, we all thought that the Pacquiao scenario down in Australia.
Yeah,
was
with Horn.
that this was a pure molestation. You know,
Yeah.
as far as what, Triple G didn't get in the outcome of this, but you know they're always trying to set up rematches nowadays.
Yeah.
I mean, you can have a rematch regardless.
Yeah.
But don't, you know, malign a fighter and take away what should have actually been there as far as a victory by calling it a draw. I mean, this reminds me of the last Tommy Hearns Sugar Ray Leonard fight. When
Yeah.
Tommy Hearns won 8 of the 12 rounds.
Yeah.
And somebody saw fit to call it a draw when he just dominated
Yeah.
8 of the 12 rounds. It could have been an 8-3-1 fight.
Yeah.
In actuality, but this is the same type of scenario, Charlton.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's crazy. Vegas, I mean, people are betting money.
Yeah.
And, you know, the casinos won in this incident.
When you think about Big C, that first fight with Sugar Ray Leonard and Roberto Duran, and everyone thought that Sugar Ray was going to win it, but Roberto Duran was a different breed of cat back in the day. I know Sugar Ray Leonard was the Olympic champion and the pretty boy, and everybody loved Sugar Ray Leonard. He was cross-cultural. He got, you know, he could be sold to the mainstream, if you know what I mean, Big C. But Roberto Duran came in there to fight. He didn't know anything about Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and all the good old boy advertisers, and he won that first fight. And the second fight, because there couldn't be the America's greatest hero at that time, Sugar Ray Leonard, going 0-2 against, you know, Roberto Duran. So for some reason, the great fighter called the no mas, he said he had a stomach ache, Big C, and he didn't want to fight anymore. Boxing has always had the magic hand behind the curtain. You see that magic hand, did it show up again on Saturday night, Big C? Your thoughts?
Well, Charlton, I mean, you can look over the decades of fights. I mean, you look at the Mike Tyson loss, you know, to Buster Douglas.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Buster Douglas was down 12 seconds when Mike Tyson knocked him down.
Yeah.
But ironically, he only got a 9 count.
Yep.
But, you know, boxing is done over the decades, Charlton.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason why there's lines on boxing. And if you think about this fight, Charlton,
Yeah.
Because all the money was on Mayweather.
Yeah.
And so Vegas had to find a way to get its money back.
They did.
And so if you call it a draw, they get everything.
Yeah.
You know, because nobody wins. You can bet on everybody. You know, how many people would bet on a draw in this scenario? I mean, there was 3 people probably that bet on a draw.
Yeah.
But everybody else bet the other ways. And so Vegas got clean. And so you're looking at a perfect opportunity for a rematch.
Yeah.
It will be Charlton, and it will be a very decisive fight the next time around. It won't be a draw a second time. You can't do that because you'll have some referees who are really refereeing the
Yeah.
fight.
Yeah.
I think this is one of the things that you look at in MMA. Very rarely does it go to the scorecard. I mean, it may go to the scorecard 20-25% of the time.
Yeah.
But in boxing, we've seen that switch where it's about 80% going to the scorecard.
Yeah.
And this is where the human factor always is maligned because who is watching what? Did you go out and get a cup of coffee during one of the rounds, or did you have to go to the facilities
Yep.
and relieve yourself? Because you relieve yourself of your pen evidently when you were keeping score.
That's very true, Big C. You know, I do want to say that, again, a great fight. I love it when boxing gets it right. The UFC is great. Boxing is great. It's almost like saying who's the best, the NFC or the AFC in football. Big C is all good. The NL, the AL, it's all good. The Eastern Conference, Western Conference, it's all good. We love seeing both sports. I do want to pay homage and say thank you to Uriah Faber, the owner of Ultimate Fitness, Uriah Faber Gym, Northern California. On Saturday had the grand opening. So thank you, Uriah, for allowing me and a lot of people to come down and to get some interviews with some people. And I want to give special thanks out to a couple of people. Wendy King, who actually helped set up the event. Phenomenal. Sarah Hopkins, Destina Perez, and also Quinn Yamamoto. Thank you so much. And also Christina, thank you guys all for showing up. Big C, one of the things I love about boxing, and just like being in Northern California, there are people there that are part of the Olympic Training Center that come from Denver, Colorado. Fighters that come from Japan, from England, from all over the United States, from the UK, Australia, Russia, South Africa. Cody Garbrandt trains there. A lot of good people. And what I loved about the UFC and what happened in Sacramento and what happened down the street in Las Vegas is everyone has an opinion. Okay, the great thing about it is they have an opinion. The guy I respect the most is Teddy Atlas. Teddy Atlas kind of blew a fuse because he knows, and he has the balls. He reminds me of you, just a little bit of shade, a little lighter shade. Big C, if you can say that. But he's not afraid of just saying, you know, what the truth is and look it up and Google it and all that stuff, Big C. You guys drink from the same moonshine fountain, Big C, your thoughts?
Well, you know, Teddy Atlas is real because he's an expert in the sport.
Oh, yeah.
We think of all the announcers who are broadcasting, you know, these events, and, you know, they have the outside of the ring expertise
Yeah.
because they sit there and they go over their notes and, you know, the analytics. But Teddy Atlas is trained and he's fought
Yeah.
for a living, Charlton. So he knows the in and outs of boxing. He knows all the mechanics, the psychological aspect of
Yeah.
it. And he also knows when someone lands a punch and doesn't
Yeah.
land a punch, Charlton.
Yeah.
He understands when someone's getting reamed by an official, by a referee, by one of the judges on the side, Charlton. And it's getting obvious. I mean, you have so many cameras and angles now, Charlton, in any sporting event that you witness is that the human eye can no longer
Yeah.
be tricked.
Yep.
And so when we're all sitting there and seeing something in real time, we don't need replays to, you know, authenticate what we've actually seen.
Exactly.
And when you watching this, he was as animated down at the Pacquiao fight in Australia, Charlton.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this one just blew a fuse. He went over the top.
Yeah.
In this scenario, because as a boxing aficionado, it's very frustrating to sit there and watch a boxer get robbed, Charlton.
Yeah.
To see someone get jobbed in these scenarios. And Teddy Atlas, I admire him for being honest. And outspoken, because he does work with all the networks.
Yeah.
But he comes in as an honest, you know, non-biased person.
Yeah.
He's not rooting for one fighter over the other.
Yeah.
He is rooting for the truth to come out when he was animated after the event, as he's been in the last two, Charlton.
Yeah.
Watching someone get treated the way they've been treated and robbed of a real victory.
And yeah, that's a very good point. You want someone to just be honest like Walter Cronkite and not toe the company line because they're on your network. So great fight event going on in Northern California. Congratulations, Uriah Faber. Also, Triple G and Canelo, they'll fight again. Big C, in the world of college football, you good old boys down south in Alabama, you guys been picking on the West Coast. You guys picked on USC last year. You picked on Washington in the college football playoffs. You guys picked on Fresno State. Now you picked on Colorado State. When you good old boys are going to stop beating up on West Coast opponents? Big C, your thoughts?
Well, Charlton, what's going on is we're not trying to show a bias to the meeting of the teams.
Yeah.
We're showing the country that anybody can come into Tuscaloosa.
It get beat.
We pay about $1 million to come in
Yeah.
and accept that loss.
Yeah.
But, this is when people want to say that Alabama is not the program that they are.
Yeah.
Alabama plays everybody. They take all comers.
Yeah.
And they go out and people say, well, they didn't look as good as what they looked before.
Yeah.
Well, there's a great thing in sports that I always appreciated when I played, and even now that I don't play, Charleston.
Yeah.
It's called wins and losses.
Yeah.
And a win goes in the win column, whether
Yeah.
it's 1 point or 50 points. It
Yeah.
goes in the win column. They don't sit there at the end of the season and say, well, they had 13 wins, but they only won them all by an average of 3 points.
Yep. That's very true. Yeah.
That's the bottom line. And I think in the analogy of the world of sports, everyone can appreciate that. When you walk away from a game, and you had one played out there on the West Coast that went into overtime.
Yeah.
The bottom line, it was a win for one team and a loss for the other. There wasn't a moral victory in the loss, and I hate when people say, well, there's moral victories in losses.
Right.
The only thing that's moral is your morale is down.
Yeah.
Because you got an L and you got to ride all the way home after taking a butt whipping. Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah.
Okay, but you still lost.
That's a very good point.
Sports, it's either you do or you don't.
Yeah.
That kiss and sister thing is no instant.
No.
You don't deal with it.
That's so funny.
Beat somebody or you got beat up.
That's a very good point. I want to bring up the game that took place on the East Coast down south. Clemson coming into that contest, ranked number 2 in the country. Actually, they were 2 or 3 depending on what polls with Oklahoma. They're 3-0 now. They had an impressive win over Louisville. That was ranked number 20, actually 14 at the time, 47-21. You always talked about the Clemson defense, and I thought they were a little bit tough on the Heisman Trophy winner, but they did lock down a solid number 2. Big C, your thoughts on the Clemson performance? Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
You're the number 2 ranked team in the country and you're the defending national champ.
Yeah.
And you haven't dropped off in any kind of way, Charlton.
No.
You got a third-year sophomore playing quarterback. Okay?
Yeah.
He's a redshirt sophomore.
Yeah.
And he's picking up the offense more and more each week. He's getting better. That defense, there's a couple NFL teams that could go out and hire the guys that are playing on Clemson.
Yeah, they're good.
They could sorely use them.
Yeah.
Because they are good, Charlton. They are a dominant front. They went in at Auburn the week before.
Yeah.
Beat the crap out of the Auburn Tigers.
Yep.
Sacked their quarterback 11 times. And people say, well, are they any good? They come in, they hold the defending Heisman Trophy winner, Charlton.
Yep.
That's all night.
Yeah.
They really were all over, Lamar Jackson and LSU, although his offensive line didn't help him any.
Yeah.
But this is the most ferocious offensive line that I've seen a defensive line that I've seen in a long time, professional or college, Charlton, to put together 3 consecutive games of tenacious defense.
Yeah.
Hounding opposing quarterbacks into obliteration. They have just dominated the college landscape,
Yeah.
Charlton. And them being ranked number 2 is not bad. This is almost like a replay of the NBA Finals when you think about it. You see Golden State.
Yep.
You see Cleveland.
Yeah.
3 years running.
Yeah.
We may see that again this year in college football playoffs with Alabama and Clemson, Charlton.
That's a very good point. Also, Oklahoma won big. They had a nice 56-14 win over Tulane. It was Penn State 56-0 over Georgia State. Penn State's number 4. Southern Cal talked about that game, the rematch of what happened in the 2005 National Championship that a lot of good old boys say didn't even happen, Big C, because they said they vacated the wins. But I know a lot of people were at that game at the Rose Bowl back in 2005. I want to get your thoughts. You and I brought it up when we saw the point spread was 14.5 or 15, and we were saying just Friday, and people can look it up, with the talent that you have on Texas and USC, the talent's comparable. And Gus Johnson brought it up in the broadcast. How could you give a team that's from Texas, their best program in Texas, even though it's going to take them some time to turn them around? They're not a 15-point underdog to anybody, Big C, especially when they play SC. These players, they're all Americans for the most part. They love playing against each other. Just give me your thoughts on that. And did Darnold drop out of the chance to be called the best college quarterback? Big C, your thoughts.
Well, Jonathan, when you look at Texas, they came out and they played lights out. This was a very emotional game for them.
Yeah.
They were down within the media and the point spreads, Jonathan. But they came out and they played football. And, Maryland may be a better team than everybody gave them credit for that first week of the season.
Yeah.
When Maryland came out and put all those points on the board, they came back, they rebounded against San Jose State.
Yeah.
But they won Coliseum, Charlton, and they look like world beaters. They
Yeah.
played tremendous defense for 4 quarters against this vaunted USC offense. And
Yeah.
Sam Donald, who was supposed to be the clear-cut Heisman Trophy winner, even though he has not showed up for 3 weeks, showing those type of statistics, Charlton, that he's the clear-cut Heisman Trophy winner. This USC defense, though, Charlton, is as talented as they've been in a long time. They
Yeah.
have some players that make plays all over the field.
Yeah.
I do admire Texas playing a freshman quarterback, Charlton.
Yeah.
Held its own against this great USA defense.
Yeah.
But, you know, the skilled players on this USC offense, it's hard to find which one to go to because there's so many of them.
Oh yeah, the receivers are good. Their running back's amazing. I think Darnold gets a lot of hype, and we talked about that before the season started. He's a good quarterback. We're not saying he's not, but I think he's still about the 3rd best quarterback in the Pac-12. But the defense that you talked about at USC, they really didn't get scored upon. They got a pick 6. That was because of the receiver dropping the pass or tipped the pass, and Texas ran it back in for a score. But this is what's great about college football. Just like you're in the South, I'm out here in the West Coast. We're 3,000 miles away. We do our show extemporaneously. When you have the big programs, scheduled in the big programs, that's great for college football. Over 93,000 in the Coliseum. A great game for both programs, Big C. I do want to touch on a couple more scores. Oklahoma State moved to 3-0, 59-21. And they have that game over Pittsburgh. Michigan 3-0, beat Air Force 29-13. Not that impressive. Ohio State beats up on Army 38-7. But I want to get your thoughts on another game. We talked about how impressive it would be for this quarterback out at Washington State. They're ranked number 18 in the country. They're 3-0 in the season. And Falk had a great game passing. They blew out Oregon State 52-23. Talk about, again, the most disguised, unrecognizable quarterback on the West Coast in Falk. Big C, your thoughts?
I know he's raised the radar on a lot of NFL teams. The media is not in love with him because he's up there in Pullman, Washington.
Yeah.
But Falk, Charlton, is as good a college quarterback that I've seen as far as a pocket passer in the past decade. This kid threw for 6 touchdowns against Oregon, okay?
Yeah, Oregon State.
150 yards passing and only played 3 quarters.
Yeah.
You know, he's unflappable in the pocket, Charlton. He has great vision, great sight lines. He's 6'6".
Yeah.
He sees over the defense, and he sees through the secondary. And, you know, he throws with poise. He leads his receivers. He gives them an opportunity to catch the ball, Charlton. That's the thing. You know, you look at a lot of quarterbacks, they say they got these rocket-strong arms, Charlton. They can throw the ball through a car wash without it getting wet.
Yeah.
But then you throw the ball to a receiver and have him catch the ball.
Yeah.
That's what Falk is bringing to the table at the moment. Watch the Charlton. He sits back, he reads, he goes through his progression. It's hard to find young quarterbacks nowadays that go through that progression.
Yeah.
He has all the tools to be an excellent NFL quarterback. Now, people will compare him a lot to Ryan Leaf, who played up in Washington State. Who
Same school.
Came out in the draft. He was number 2 behind Peyton Manning. We all know the illustrious career that Peyton had, and Ryan Leaf fell off the deep end.
Yeah.
But this is a different mindset. Same size body, but different mindset. This is a very poised young man with all the tools, and if he doesn't be at least the 2nd quarterback drafted in the NFL draft, somebody down the line will have a franchise quarterback for over a decade, Charlton, outside of the top 10.
That's a very good point. Just want to run down Charlie Strong. South Florida's 3-0 in the season. They beat Illinois from the Big Ten 47-23. Mississippi State goes to 3-0, ranked number 19 in the country, and they beat LSU. I'm telling you, they beat LSU. I almost had to read that twice. LSU 37-7. Is that a typo or am I reading that wrong? Either way, Mississippi State looks very good. But I want to get your thoughts on the last game that we're going to cover in college before we hit the NFL, Big C. If you know how big football is in the South, in the SEC Conference, when Florida and Tennessee can come down to the wire and it seems back-to-back, what happens with Florida giving up that long touchdown pass, getting the long touchdown pass with no time left on the clock in regulation? What happened with Tennessee is we have a lot of, fireworks are still going by from the Oakland Raider Coliseum. Big C, your thoughts?
Well, Charlton, I have to question Butch Jones and his defensive coaches, Charlton, in this scenario. This is a very lackluster game in the first half.
Yeah.
But, you talk about a 4th quarter that was probably the greatest in college football history, Charlton. They scored 37 points between these 2 teams in the 4th quarter.
Yeah.
That was just lights-out football. But to be, Butch Jones, not Butch Jones, but McElwain was playing for overtime.
Yeah.
That's all he was doing. Felipe came out and threw a 63-yard touchdown. wasn't a Hail Mary, Charles.
No.
And this is why I question Butch Jones, the head coach of Tennessee, and his defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
What the heck are you looking at?
Yeah.
You got 4 seconds left on the clock. You're playing basically a cover 2 defense.
Yeah.
All you were doing was you should have been in a cloud coverage, Charles. You should have had 3 safeties in the game.
Yeah.
You're playing a basic cover 2. Your safeties sit inside the hash. Let the wide receiver run past them. I mean, Pop Warner football is that.
Yeah, that's very true.
College football coach, head coach, that is letting a secondary sit there in a basic cover 2 when you know there's no time left on the clock, and the
Yeah.
only thing that can beat you is someone going deep.
Yeah.
And I give credit to the Florida offense
Yeah.
for staying with the game plan. That they didn't panic with all the rust that, that Tennessee was putting on them. He laid it out there, Charles. He threw a pass, as we talked about earlier, that the receiver could catch. It wasn't a Hail Mary.
Yeah.
It was for going deep.
Yeah.
And he threw a post route, Charlton. Ball went 63 yards in the air, perfect strike. The safety was in chase mode. You think about this. You got a safety in chase mode with 4 seconds to go on the clock.
Yep.
This is a question. Does he have the confidence of the head coach in Tennessee? I can tell you that they haven't had anything, since they won the championship with
Yeah.
Steve Martin.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But since then, they've gone through a plethora of coaches that all made critical defensive mistakes.
That's a very good point. So I do want to say that sports is a billion-dollar industry, and boys and girls sports is the foundation to this billion-dollar industry. And for every sporting event, you need athletic and event insurance. We work with Ben and Mark. They've been around half a century. They work with pro athletes, your collegiate teams, your high school teams, even your mom and pop soccer leagues. When you reach out to them, let them know that Big C sent you. Big C in the NFL, great games in the NFL. I'm telling you, one of the most overrated games, and a game that you called, you said the defense would be too tough at Denver. Plus, the altitude is really high in the air, if you understand what I'm saying. I think Dallas looked like they were too relaxed. Maybe they met some good old boys before a kickoff. Denver's defense looked like the one that won the Super Bowl. Big C, your thoughts?
Well, Charles, you got to look at Dallas going into this game.
Yeah.
Their defense has more drug suspensions than any team.
Yeah.
Defense right now has more players on drug suspension
Yeah.
than any team in the NFL.
Yeah.
And you're going into Denver where marijuana's legal. Y'all got to look into this about legalizing marijuana.
Yeah.
Because, if they had a drug test in Dallas as a defense after this game, they probably have another fight.
I'm telling you, they looked a little bit slow.
You got to give praise to the Denver Broncos, Charlton. That defense was just lights out against the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
They made the Cowboys offense look very pedestrian in this game. Jason Garrett is going to have to go back to the drawing board. Jerry Jones, has to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
And figure out what can he do with his offense.
Yeah.
Ezekiel Elliott looked like he was not interested in this game whatsoever.
He wasn't.
He's more concerned about his legal matters than he is about being a productive running back.
Yeah.
And when Dallas wins, what do they say? This is the best offensive line in pro football?
Yeah.
That they can dominate anybody?
Yeah.
Did the Denver Broncos get that memo?
I don't think they got it yet, Big C. They were too relaxed when they were playing football up in Denver, Big C. I just thought that was funny.
Look at Trevor Siemian, Charlton.
Yeah.
Everybody's talked about the quarterbacks that were taken in the draft, the past couple of years. Paxton Lynch,
Yeah. Yep.
Prescott.
Yep. Golf.
And golf.
Yep. And Wentz. Yeah.
Here it is. You look at this kid. He was a 7th round draft pick, sit on the practice roster for a year.
Yeah.
Now think if he had been drafted, Charlton, in the top 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks drafted. How would people be singing his praise right now?
Yeah.
He has developed into a very good quarterback. If not for being injured last year and missing 4 games, Charlton, you think about it. They won 8 games the Denver Broncos did last year.
Yeah.
If he had not missed those 4 games, they would have probably been 11-5 and made the playoffs.
Yeah.
That vaunted AFC West.
Yeah.
But when you look at the West, is there a better team in the AFC West right now? I mean, the top 3 teams are undefeated in that division, Charlton.
Yeah.
But is there a better team right now than the Denver Broncos?
And you gotta ask yourself that question. I know they had that narrow win against San Diego. There I go. I gotta Google that. But against the LA Chargers now. But they look good. They all look good. Even being out here in Oakland for the Oakland Raider game against the Jets, and the NFL seems like they're allowing more fun. If you've noticed that, the Raiders were able to get the nice win over the Jets in Oakland, and they had Beast Mode dancing on the sideline, obviously when the game was out of reach. but he had about 55,000 people up on their feet dancing. I think that's a good move for the NFL to let people play and have fun, and it's good for the fans too, Big C. And when you think about that game out in Oakland, that's a team that a lot of people are saying going to challenge for the AFC Conference Championship. But you just brought up, you got to get to the West first. You have Denver, you have Kansas City. They're both playing lights out. But give me your thoughts on the Oakland Raiders. I think their offense really is unstoppable no matter who they play. If you can't get 30 points in Oakland, you might just lose that game. Your thoughts, Big C?
Right now, Derek Carr is playing better than he was at the midpoint of last season, Johnson.
Yeah.
This is, when you think about the Raiders last year, this is the first time they started 2-0 in some decades.
Yeah.
It's been a decade.
They went to the Super Bowl last time.
Last time they started 2-0
Yeah.
in a regular season. But when you look at Michael Crabtree, you think
He's amazing.
He was across the bay.
Yep.
Just 4 years ago, Charlton.
Yeah.
Participating in an NFC championship game.
Yep.
4 years ago on the other side of the bay.
Yep.
And that entire team that he competed with is gone.
Yeah.
They were playing at the level that this team is playing at now. And so when you think about the moving parts that were in that San Francisco offense, how productive they've been since they've gone elsewhere.
Yeah.
They talk about all the other stars, but anything in Michael Crabtree's neighborhood, he's going to catch.
Oh, yeah. He's absolutely amazing.
Mr. Beatles' neighborhood on Saturday Night Live with Eddie Murphy. He
Yeah.
caught everything.
Yeah, that's funny.
Derek Carr, he has developed into a tremendous young quarterback.
Yeah.
He deserves the money that he got a couple of months ago.
Yep.
He's living up to the hype. He's delivering on all 4 cylinders. They really 8, Johnson.
Yeah.
Even though you only got 4 quarters.
Yeah.
But he's getting there. And Beast Mode has added that intensity
Yeah.
to the offense.
Yeah.
He's not going to go out and get you 100 yards every game, Johnson, but he's going to bring you mentality.
Yeah.
And any old football player knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
When you walk in there with that mentality,
Yep.
not this hype and all that crap, the mentality, that means that I can whip your butt anything. And
Yeah.
that's how Beast Mode shows up at the Coliseum, Johnson.
Yeah, and it makes it great for Carr. Carr had a great game, 23 of 28, 230 yards. But see, attitude you talk about, Big C. Also attitude. We want to run down south in your neck of the woods, New Orleans. Who is it called? The Who Dat State? Is that what they call New Orleans, Louisiana? But Tom Brady went in there, and obviously when you think Tom was washed up and didn't look very good against Kansas City, that either shows you how good Kansas City is or how you can always bounce back and have a good game. I thought he went in there and literally led control he set the tone with the atmosphere. And that's the last time he had played in New Orleans, I think, since they were in the Super Bowl down there against the Rams back in the day. But a 36-20 win over the Saints. And Drew Brees, obviously, you could say that Adrian Peterson is not the answer, but Drew Brees, he's going to pass a lot of yards. But Drew can't be the reason that they win anymore. So now we got to ask the same thing about Drew Brees. Are we looking at him maybe being someone where you look at a younger player to get that team back on at least Super Bowl path? Big C, your thoughts?
What you got to look at is defense. You got to look at the Saints' first 2 games. Look at the amount of points that they've given up in their first 2 games.
Yeah.
They are not scaring anybody on the defensive side of the ball. And New England hung up 21 points in the first quarter.
First quarter.
Tom
Yeah.
Brady.
Yeah.
So you can talk about Drew Brees. You know he's always going to have to throw the ball.
356 yards.
When you're throwing the ball from behind all the time,
Yeah.
Johnson, it's not going to help you.
Yeah.
You got to look on the defensive side of New Orleans. They started out 0-2.
Yeah.
And in these 2 games, Charlton, what have they given up? Close to 70 points?
Yeah.
In 2 games? You don't win in the NFL if you're giving up 70 points every 2 games, Charlton.
That's a good point.
You just don't.
Yeah.
So I don't care how good Drew Brees, Tom Brady, or any other quarterback is in the NFL. You got to find some guys who are getting paid on your defense who want to play defense.
Yeah.
Right now, they're just getting paid.
That's a very good point. And Breeze, when you look at the numbers, you think, wow, what a great game. But like you mentioned, when you're playing from behind, you got to throw the ball 27-45, 356 yards. And Brady had 447 yards on 30 of 39 passing. So obviously, the numbers look good, and they look better when you're winning and not having to throw for over 300 yards to win a game. Now, another guy that you like, Big C, Big Ben Roethlisberger, obviously a rematch of a Super Bowl from way back in the day when Tarkenton and Bradshaw went at it. They beat the Steelers 26-9. Just want to get your thoughts. The Pittsburgh defense looks very good. Give up 9 points. Offense, they're rolling. But are they still one of the top teams in the AFC? Because we talked about Oakland, Denver, and Kansas City. Is Pittsburgh too old to compete with those top 3, Big C? Your thoughts?
You got this guy named Antonio
Yeah.
Antonio Brown is the best receiver in the NFL at the moment. We got Julio Jones and a few others.
Yeah.
And, Odell Beckham. But Antonio Brown, Charlton, there's nobody better than he is.
Yeah.
When you make 10, 11 catches a contest and you only targeted 12 times, that means you're putting your hands on the ball.
Yeah.
Ben Roethlisberger is unflappable in the pocket. He's huge, Charlton.
Yeah.
He is not scared of any defense coming after him.
No.
And, he has the poise in the pocket to deliver. The offensive line right now is doing a tremendous job in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
But the defense is going back to Dick LeBeau standards a couple of years ago when they were just one of the most dominant defenses in the NFL.
Yeah.
And they played such a different type
aggressive
of team with that three-man front.
Yeah.
That you never know where these four linebackers are coming from, Charlton. And I tell you, J.J. Watt's little brother has been a huge addition. They were able to let Lawrence Timmons go.
Yep.
But they have not lost a step with the younger Watt player who's making sacks and interceptions, Charlton. He fits right in. He reminds me of Green, who used to play outside linebacker with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
Who's in the Hall of Fame now. He looks just like him, except wearing number 90 instead of 94.
Yeah. That's a very good point, Big C. So obviously some great quarterback play, some great team play. And when I look at Big Ben, you always think about him being able to throw for 300 and 400 yards. He was only 23 of 35 for 243, but you don't have to always throw for a lot when you're ahead. That's the thing that people got to look at. It's great when a quarterback has a 300 and 400 yard passing game like Breeze, but when you're behind, it really doesn't make a difference. I want to jump back out to the West Coast, Big C, because your best friend, Kirk Cousins, who said, you like that? You like that? Obviously, coming from behind to beat the L.A. Rams. Now, if you can play the game, I applaud you. Nothing wrong with that. I just want to run down some stats. The Rams 27, actually the Redskins 27, Rams 20 at the Coliseum. And you had Cousins, he's one of those seven-figure quarterbacks, 18 to 27, 179 yards, Big C. 179 yards out of a $100 million quarterback. And then Goff, the number one pick last year, 15 of 25, one interception, 224 yards. Now, I'm not knocking anybody because you can play the game, you can play the game. But those two quarterbacks don't set the world on fire, but they're so highly regarded, Big C. Why is that?
Well, Johnson, it's how they look in the mirror.
Yeah.
They pass the eye test in the mirror as far as what they looked at, as far as from the media perspective of what they should be and what they are not.
Yeah.
And they are proven what they are not. They are not quality NFL quarterbacks. You think about this. You're making $25 million and you only pass for 170 yards in a pro game, Charlton.
Yeah, against the Rams.
Team is not that good, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not that good. You're the number one draft pick, and you throw the interception in the most critical time of the game when you're trying to come down and tie the score.
Never took his eye off the ball.
You're not an NFL-ready quarterback.
Yeah.
Now, you look at other quarterbacks that get maligned like Dak Prescott, like the kid at Cam Newton in Carolina.
Colin Kaepernick. Yeah.
He's one of those guys, Johnson, make the money that these two guys don't have the number one pedigree. Well, Cam has the number one pedigree, but he's been to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But none of them have looked as bad as these two quarterbacks, Johnson. When you look at that, L.A. right now, deserves better. The only thing that looked good in that game was the running back Gurley. He reminded me so much of Lawrence McCutcheon.
Yeah.
Former running back that played when the Rams played this in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Years ago, before you were born, I think, Charles.
Long time ago.
He finally looked good, getting loose out in the open. Todd Gurley looked like the number one draft pick that the Rams had a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And the rookie in the NFL. But, when you think about this game, Charlton, what's going on in Southern California, you got two pro teams playing down there.
Yep.
And between those two pro teams, Charlton, they did not equal the crowd of USC Texas on Saturday night.
I know.
The Rams had 42,000 in the Coliseum.
Yep.
The Chargers had 23,000 in the StubHub Center.
Yeah.
You got a college team that's representing the NFL on Saturday instead of the pro teams doing it on Sunday, Charles.
That's a very good point. And the USC Texas game was something to stay up for. And the Rams went down to the wire, but obviously, I pull for everyone who can play in that league. But when I find some talented guys that don't even get a shot, like Kaepernick, and you have some bad quarterback play all over the league, I guess it's okay to just kind of cut off, to spite your face. That's what a lot of owners are doing. The Seahawks, as they go up north, Big C, the Seahawks 12, the 49ers 9. The Seahawks defense is lights out. They're absolutely amazing, even though they had some injuries. And the 49ers, I don't know what they're going to do because this at one time was the marquee game. At one time, it was a marquee game to decide who represented the NFC in the Super Bowl. At one time, it was a marquee game for the top quarterbacks in the NFL with Kaepernick and Wilson. I think Wilson's running for his life because the O-line has a lot of holes in it. And I still don't know what San Francisco is going to do because they just don't seem – they seem like they're a shell of themselves. Big C, your thought on Pete Carroll. What can they do for the Seahawks? They can't go out and draft new players. Can they implement a new scheme? Because the way they're playing right now, Wilson's not going to make it healthy 16 games, Big C. Your thoughts?
Well, if Pete Carroll is going to do anything, Chelsea, he's got to do what an old coach did that I had. You got to walk in and cut two offensive linemen.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
If you walk in and cut two of them, just cut them. Because that's how they're playing. They're not working the paycheck.
Yeah.
Cut them. Sign two guys off of somebody else's practice roster who are hungry and want to play. They can't be any worse than the ones you got.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But that's the only thing Pete Carroll can do right now to make this Seattle offensive line better. You got to cut two offensive linemen.
Yeah.
Period. But that defense has always been a staple up there. The 49ers defense reminded me of a defense 4 years ago that they had.
Yeah.
They played lights out.
They played hard.
Now, you hired this Shanahan to be this offensive guru.
Yeah.
Now you got to let me know how many. I'm not good at math. How many points have the 49ers scored in 2 games?
Well, they scored a couple of field goals in their games, Big C. That's what they've done.
Okay, so they haven't scored any touchdowns yet.
No.
Okay, so
But that's Kaepernick's fault, Big C. Big C, we figured it out. Get rid of Kaepernick. Right? Yeah, he has 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and he only started half the games, Big C.
Okay, he missed the first 6 games of the season.
Yeah.
But at least he threw 16 touchdowns.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Now you look at the quarterbacks they got right now. They've thrown 4 touchdowns already.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
They've thrown as many touchdowns in 2 games as Colin Kaepernick threw entire season last year.
Yeah.
So, this is the offensive genius that you bring in and the great quarterback that fits your system that you get rid of.
Yep.
But, it was a tremendous game from a defensive perspective.
Yeah.
The 49ers were all over Russell Wilson. And like I said, Pete Carroll needs to cut 2 offensive linemen.
That's funny, Big C. The Cardinals 16, the Colts 13 in overtime. Obviously, the interception led to that. The Ravens 24, the Browns 10, the Buccaneers 29, and the Bears 7. Jameis Winston with the Buccaneers. I mean, this is a team that can scare a lot of people. I know they may not get the credit that a lot of people think that maybe they're overrated right now, but I'm telling you, that team that they have down in Tampa Bay, they're talented. They have great receivers. And Winston, remember, he led Florida State to the top of the college football ranks a couple of seasons ago. And I just look at him and his leadership, Big C. I think they can shock a lot of people this year at Tampa Bay. Your thoughts on how they can play, especially their defense, Big C, your thoughts?
What you're looking at in Tampa Bay will not be a shock. What you would be looking at if the Bears would have win would have been a shock. Okay?
Yeah.
That would have been the shock. But Jameis Winston has developed nicely over the last 3 years that he's been in the NFL. Each year he's gotten better and better his first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
He's passed for over 4,000 yards. They upgraded his receiving core when you think about it, Charlton.
Yeah.
They brought in the big tight end from Alabama, the first-round draft pick.
Yep.
They brought in Jackson, the free agent from Washington. They don't have a running game yet, Charlton, because, Martin is out. And as soon as they can get Martin back in, Charlton, and that offensive line is clicking the way that it's clicking, and Jameis has been so precise. He's lost some weight. He's gotten stronger. That's what he is. He's become a student of the game, Charlton. You don't hear the media talk about him being a student of the game and wanting to get better, but he has done that.
Yeah.
And this defense in Tampa has always been solid.
Yeah.
And they've gotten even better. Tony Dungy laid the foundation years ago in Tampa about being a vaunted defense.
Yeah.
And they've never let that go away. And now that this offense is playing solid, Charlton, this is a division that no one can afford to lose in. We talked about how strong the AFC West is.
Yeah.
You're looking at Carolina, Charlton, they're 2-0. You're looking at Tampa, missed their game last week
Yep.
because of the hurricane.
Yeah.
They're 1-0, and they could easily be 2-0.
Yep.
And you look at this, the Falcons,
Yeah.
who won the division and went to the Super Bowl last year. They're 2-0. So we're looking at 2 equally talented divisions. Carolina needs to find a little more offense. Cam hasn't hit his stride yet. They lost their top tight end.
Yeah.
And Olsen with a broken foot. But Jameis Winston and his Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Charlton, will challenge the Atlanta Falcons for that division title this year.
Yeah, 18 and 30, 204 yards. You don't have to throw for 400 yards to be a good quarterback. You just got to win, and they win by 22 points in that game over the Bears. I just want to run down a little bit more. Titans 37, Jaguars 16, Chiefs 27, the Eagles 20. And also, the game last night, and I'll get your thoughts on tonight's game. The game last night down in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, it's just the most beautiful stadium in the country, and maybe even in the world. I used to like the Sky Dome up in Toronto because it was a beautiful multi-purpose stadium. They did it right in Atlanta. Arthur Blank deserves to be maybe perhaps owner of the year just for how many people he hired in the local Atlanta area. And they built a jewel downtown Atlanta where you don't have to drive an hour to go out and see your team play in order to get back town. Big, so your thoughts on them blowing out Green Bay last night? Bears, yeah.
And people question, the stability of the offense. Were they still suffering the hangover from that huge loss in the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Well, they came out last week, and played the team that they played the NFC Final.
Yeah.
And they dominated. The Green Bay
Packers
once again, even though Green Bay had that plethora of injuries that hit them in Atlanta once again.
Yeah.
You got to stay away from that soul food. You got to from the man that you can see.
That's something, buddy.
Well with them. They lost both of their offensive tackles.
Yeah.
They lost Jordy Nelson Johnson, so a huge cog in that offense for Green Bay. They came in, their running back was out, and so they had to make some adjustments. But this Atlanta defense was all over Aaron Rodgers last night, Charles. They didn't give him an ounce of time to get the ball to his receiving core.
Yeah.
And they just played tremendous defense. Vic Beasley, Atlanta lost him for a few games last night. But, the Falcons seem to be on a roll right now, Jonathan. They're going to be a tough team to beat in that division, even though Tampa's quicking at their heels.
Final 2 minutes, Big C. Tonight's football game, Beckham's going to play for the New York Giants, and Detroit comes to town with Stafford. You have $200 million quarterbacks in Eli Manning and then Stafford. They're making this game about Beckham, but you got to be able to run the football in this game, but the quarterbacks are going to get most of the publicity. Big C, your thoughts on who has the edge tonight with Beckham showing up in town? Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, this is amazing how the media puts all the emphasis on the receiver.
Yeah.
And he can only do what the quarterback allows him to do.
Yep.
So to sit up and say that all the pressure is on Beckham is wrong. You got to point it where it is. Eli Manning is not that productive as an NFL quarterback in the past couple of years. He's been more noted for his interceptions than he has for his touchdowns. And when he struggles, they want to blame the receiving corps. They want to blame the receiving corps for going down on a boat.
Yeah.
They want to blame the receiving corps for not going to the game. But when you can't get the ball to him because your offensive line is pathetic and your quarterback is just as bad,
yep.
That's the biggest problem. On the other hand, you look at Matthew Stafford, who's now the highest paid quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
Can he continue the streak? He came back last week from behind to win a game, earning his paycheck.
That's a very good point.
Come from behind, or can he get up front on the Giants tonight and just dominate them for 4 quarters?
Big
We want to see a Tom Brady performance when you're making $154 million, Joe.
That makes a lot of sense to me, Big C. Back in the day, there was a man by the name of Drew Bondini Brown. He was Muhammad Ali's right-hand man. He would always tell Ali, with all you got to use, how can you lose? Rumble, young men rumble. Big C, what are you looking forward to in the sports universe? Yeah.
From the Detroit Tigers to the Houston Astros with an ERA under 2. And, I mean, he's been lights out. Also on the East, Charlton, you got David Price with the Boston Red Sox.
He's solid.
Put him in the bullpen because he's had, struggles during the season. This reminds me of when they had him down in Tampa Bay and the Rays made that tremendous run and he went to the bullpen, Charlton. If he can come in and give you the type of outings that Orlando Chapman did for the Red Sox.
Yeah.
The Boston Red Sox, I mean, not the Red Sox, but the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah, the Cubs.
The Boston Red Sox will have an excellent opportunity of winning the AL East.
Well, Big C, that's a very good point. Lots of good things to talk about. You Animal Crossing, make sure you look out for the Animal Crossing signs. And every Monday through Friday, look out for every Monday through Friday at 5 and 6 p.m. worldwide. Follow Big C Sports on the Big C Sports Network, the #1 network in the United States of America. And Big C Sports has been voted the #1 sports show in the universe, according to Big C and the Little Boys Down South. We always want to tell you, there's never, ever any reason for domestic violence. If you know any woman going through that garbage, just call 911 so no woman should have to deal with that garbage all on our own. And as we tell you on every Big C Sports show, we thank you, we appreciate you, and we hope that you have a super fantastic day.